Wildcat Sports Pub, open 7 days a week and available to you for every single one of the NFL games every single week on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York, and of course for takeout and delivery. 315-487-2222. That's 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat Sports Pub. We have Sunday night football, Monday night football. Make sure you listen to our prior video. Go watch and listen to our prior video to check out what we had for you for every game leading into Sunday and Monday night football for fantasy football and focus for NFL Week 2. And we appreciate everybody that watched that video, and we're happy to be back here with you for Sunday and Monday night football. So let's hop right into that. Sunday night football, Miami at the Patriots. So the Dolphins at the Patriots. I said at the beginning of the season, a healthy Tua could put them in a position, in my opinion, where they'll make the playoffs. They could win the division. So Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback of the head coach on the field, Tua, the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, worth the play this week. Raheem Mostert, I have him as a running back 3 for you this week. Tyreek Hill as a number 1. Jalen Waddle a little bit behind him, but a number 1 wide receiver. Durham Smythe, their tight end, as a tight end 2, in my opinion. Tua coming off of the most yards thrown by a quarterback in week 1 of the NFL this season, 466 yards, 28 of 45, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Raheem Mostert led the team, 10 carries for 37 yards, 3.7 yards a carry, and a touchdown. Eric Azukanma had 2 carries for 17 yards, 8.5 yards per carry. Salvin Ahmed had 3 carries for 11 yards, 3.7 yards a carry, and Tua kept the ball 5 times for 5 yards. Tyreek Hill targeted 15 times by Tua, 11 catches, both led the team, 215 receiving yards for Cheetah, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle was targeted 3 times, or I should say a third of the time that Tyreek Hill. He had a third of the targets that Tyreek Hill had from Tua. 5 targets compared to Tyreek's 15. This could be a little smoke and mirrors, as Jalen Waddle will probably get more targets as the season goes on. 5 targets, 4 catches, 78 yards still respectable on the yards there. Durham Smythe, 7 targets, 3 catches. He was targeted more than Jalen Waddle by Tua, 44 catches there. Braxton Berrios, who I covered as a Miami Hurricane, who is a Miami Dolphin now, so obviously not having to go too far. Braxton Berrios, 5 targets, 3 catches, 42 yards. River Crawcraft, one of my favorite names in the NFL, had a touchdown here in the game, playing wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, and River had 5 targets, 3 catches, 1 touchdown. Number 85, wide receiver here, is in his 5th season here out of Washington State, standing at 6 feet. River Crawcraft with a touchdown from Tua Tagovailoa. So good stuff here. Not great. Tua had 2 fumbles. He kept 1 and he lost the other. So something to just watch there. But I like Tua. I like Mostert as a running back 3. Tyreek and Jalen as wide receiver 1s. Durham Smythe as a tight end 2 for you. On the other side of this matchup, we're looking at the New England Patriots in this game. I don't like Mac Jones in this matchup. I like Miami's defense in this, especially with it being Sunday night football. So I like the thought of, they're not one of the top defenses that I would definitely put out every single week as of right now. But I do like Miami's defense in this game. And then looking at this last week where the Patriots lost at home 25-20 to the Eagles in a rematch of the Super Bowl from a couple years ago, and seeing Tom Brady come down on the field in a Patriots jersey probably made a few people twitch a little bit and made some other fans really happy. And I'm happy that Tom Brady still has a great relationship with the Patriots. Looking back to this game, Mac Jones, 35 of 54, 316 yards in the game, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Zeke had a fumble that he lost in this game. He led the team on the ground in his debut for the Patriots after unceremoniously leaving the Cowboys with 29 yards on the ground on 7 carries, 4.1 yards a carry. Ramondre Stevenson had the most carries, 12 for 25, didn't go far, 2.1 yards a carry. Mac Jones kept 2 for 15, 7.5 yards a carry. And Ty Montgomery II, who came into the league back in 2015 and has been all over, was a Packer, was a Raven. Ty Montgomery II here, 1 carry, 7 yards, and that was it for him. Kendrick Bourne had himself a day, 2 touchdowns. The Bourne identity, maybe he's becoming the potential identity of the Patriots. 6 catches on 11 targets, and both led the team. Ramondre Stevenson tied him on 6 catches. He caught all 6 thrown his way. Bourne had 64 yards. Stevenson had 64 yards receiving, so great in PPR. Ramondre Stevenson, 2 touchdowns for Kendrick Bourne to lead the team. Hunter Henry had 5 catches on 6 targets, 56 yards, and a tutty in this game. A touch. I don't even know why I said tutty. I don't like that word. It makes me cringe. So in this matchup against Miami, I like Hunter Henry as a sneaky low-end tight end 1. I like Ramondre Stevenson as a running back 2 in a deep league, probably a 2 or a 3 in other leagues. I like Ramondre Stevenson, though, for PPR. Not sold on Juju. Kendrick Bourne could flex him out as a wide receiver 3 or 4, and that's what I would say about that game. For Monday Night Football, there's a doubleheader on this Monday night. We got 2 games, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. ESPN and ESPN2 will carry the Saints at the Panthers. ABC will carry Cleveland at Pitt at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, which means Disney's getting 100% of the viewership and 100% of the money because they own ESPN and ABC. That's why they can start these games an hour apart. New Orleans at Carolina. Let's go to that game first. The New Orleans Saints in the debut for Derek Carr as the quarterback of the Saints, which I feel good about. I think the Saints can win that division, which I think right now is a division that's most open for the taking when it comes to anybody could win the division. The New Orleans Saints, though, I do feel good about them, and I feel good about Derek Carr. I picked them to win this game. They won it 16-15 in a close one with Tennessee. Derek Carr in this matchup in his debut as a Saint, 23-33, best quarterback I think they've had in a minute, 305 yards since Drew Brees, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jamal Williams led the way, 18 carries for 45 yards, 2.5 yards per carry. Taysom Hill had 3 carries for 4 yards, 1.3 yards a carry. And then we had Rashid Shaheed had 2 carries for 11 yards, 5.5 yards per carry. Chris Olave, who I said would be their number 1 wide receiver last season as a rookie, he starts off this season, his sophomore season in the NFL, with the most targets, the most catches, and the most yards for the Saints. Obviously, Derek Carr found himself a good one here. 10 targets, 8 catches, 112 yards. Rashid Shaheed had 5 catches on 6 targets with a touchdown here. Rashid Shaheed, a second season on the team out of Weber State. So again, every quarterback has their guy. So you might have to get to know Rashid Shaheed, and some people might be picking him up, seeing how he does in these first 3 weeks. And you gotta get on it quick though. Michael Thomas targeted 8 times, 5 catches, 61 yards. Apparently he wants to play now that Derek Carr is the quarterback. Juwan Johnson, 5 targets, 3 catches, 36 yards for the tight end that I think is a sneaky guy to have on your team. He's done some good things, but it's been inconsistent because they've had 4 different quarterbacks at times over the last few seasons in New Orleans. So I like Juwan Johnson coming out of Oregon, starting his 4th season here. So for the Saints in this matchup against Carolina, I like Derek Carr in this matchup for Monday Night Football. I think he's a good one to have. I got him as a lower end QB1. Jamal Williams with Alvin Kamara out. I have Jamal Williams as a running back to definitely put out there for you. I got him as a running back 2 for this matchup. Chris Olave is a wide receiver 1. Michael Thomas is a wide receiver 2. Rashid Shaheed is a flex 3 or 4. And Juwan Johnson playing Carolina. I have him as a low-end 1. I think he's better than that, but a low-end 1, high-end 2, just because I want to see somebody consistently throw to the man. So I have him for that. For Carolina, in the debut of the number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, I have, and they lost that game at the Falcons 24-10. Bryce Young went 20 of 38, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Miles Sanders in his debut coming from the Eagles to the Panthers, 18 carries, 72 yards, 4 yards per carry. And, not too shabby there. Chuba Hubbard, 9 carries, 60 yards, 6.7 yards a carry. Good to see him out there. Laviska Shenault Jr. coming from the Jaguars to the Panthers, who both came into the league in 95. 2 carries for 5 yards in his debut. 2.5 yards a carry for the wide receiver. Hayden Hurst led everybody as the tight end. Most targets, 7. Again, everybody's got their guy. Most receptions, 5. Most yards, 41. Miles Sanders out of the backfield, 6 targets, 4 catches, 26 yards. Terrence Marshall Jr. in his second season with the team, 6 targets, 2 catches, 23 yards. Jonathan Mingo, the rookie, 2 catches on 5 targets for 17 yards out of Ole Miss, drafted in the second round, pick 39 by the Carolina Panthers. Laviska Shenault caught 2 of the 2 thrown his way. Adam Thielen caught 2 of the 2 thrown his way, as well as he is in his first season with the Carolina Panthers after spending the last 9 seasons, believe it or not, with Minnesota, because he really didn't come on the scene until a few seasons ago, but he's been a Minnesota Vikings wide receiver for 9 seasons, Adam Thielen is. I didn't even know that there without looking it up, because I thought he was a lot younger in the league, so good for him for sticking around. So, in this game, going up against the New Orleans Saints, Kenny said, Shedeur Sanders, you are a Jet. That's what he said there. So a little bit interesting there. A nice little note to put in here. Kenny, I appreciate it. Kenny, make sure that you shout out to everybody where you hail from. So send to us where you hail from so we can shout it out, and make sure, if you haven't, make sure to subscribe while you're here with us today. We appreciate you, Kenny, for sending out that message here. And so for the Carolina Panthers up against New Orleans, in as far as fantasy plays, not Bryce Young. I have him as a quarterback 2. Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard. I have Chuba Hubbard as a running back 3. I have Miles Sanders as a low end 2, high end 3. I don't feel great about any of the receivers on this team for Carolina, so I'd probably leave him off. And Hayden Hurst, I have him as a tight end 2, even though he had a nice week. But let's see if Bryce Young and him keep that connection going. He's a rookie running back, so defaulting to your wide receiver and your tight end, or to your running backs and your tight end, makes sense, which gives some value to Chuba and to Miles and to Hayden. But Hayden, I still have him as a tight end 2. Cleveland at Pitt, the final game of Week 2 in the 2023-24 season. Let's go to the Cleveland Browns first. They had themselves a day against the terrible play of the Cincinnati Bengals. So they definitely had themselves a day there. Taking a look at the Cleveland Browns in their opener here, 24-3, they win at home against Cincinnati. Normally those games play a lot tougher, and typically there's not a lot of defense in those games. Massage Watson, 16 of 29 for a touchdown and an interception, 154 yards. Nick Chubb led the way, 18 carries with no Kareem Hunt on the team anymore, 106 yards, 5.9 yards a carry. Deshaun, 5 carries for 45 yards, and his keepers, 9 yards a carry. Jerome Ford, the rookie, 15 carries. I said somebody's got to be the number 2. 15 carries behind Chubb's 18, but he only got 36 in his rookie debut, 2.4 yards, or pardon me, not his rookie debut, coming out of the Cincinnati Bearcats to Cleveland last season, round 5, pick 156 in 2022. So Jerome Ford getting an opportunity here, 15 carries, really nice there for him. Elijah Moore, who came over from the Jets drafted him, and still within that rookie contract, they let him go. Spent 2 seasons with the Jets. Now he's a Cleveland Brown. Came from Ole Miss in 2021's draft, round 2, pick 34. Elijah Moore in his debut with the Browns led the team with 43 yards and 7 targets and 3 catches, which was tied by Amari Cooper, 7 targets, 3 catches, but Amari had 37 yards. David Njoku, who they seemingly were going to get rid of in recent history, kept him. 3 targets, 2 catches, 24 yards, the tight end. Nick Chubb had caught all 4 thrown his way. 4 catches, 4 targets, 21 yards. And so that's good stuff. Jordan Atkins from UCF, 1 catch for the tight end on 1 target after spending the last 5 seasons a Houston Texan. Hard to believe he's been in the league now going into his 6th season. Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's been used at times, 2 targets, 1 catch, 12 yards. Harrison Bryant, though, had 2 targets, caught both, one of them a touchdown for the tight end drafted in 2020 round 4, pick 115 out of FAU Owls, who are now inside of the American Athletic Conference. So for this game for Cleveland, and Julio Villa said, and Julio, and I got a question from Tamian as well. Julio, I appreciate you joining here. Make sure to let us know where you're from so we can shout you out. So make sure to share where you're from, as well as make sure to subscribe while you're here on the channel, because we are here with the Fantasy Football in Focus segment every single Wednesday starting at 10 a.m. and going until we're done on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, exclusively brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. And they are open 7 days a week, of course, available for all your NFL games. And you can also get takeout and delivery by calling 315-487-2222. Tamian, make sure you let us know where you're from as well and subscribe while you're here. Julio, to answer your question, trade Deontay for Zay Jones, full PPR. That's a yes, and I believe you wrote that on the last feed, which unfortunately had ended too early. So trade Deontay for Zay Jones. Like I said, I'm a little bit leery about trades so early on in the season, but yes, I like this. So Julio, it depends on the trade. There's certain ones that I just feel good about. So Julio, I'm going to say yes, trade for Zay, and I would definitely do that. Tamian coming to us from Cali. So shout out to you from out in California on the West Coast. Make sure to subscribe. Tamian said 10-man PPR. I have James Cook. Then I'm going to say David Montgomery for Monty there. Javonte Williams, Jacoby Myers, Cortland Sutton. On waivers is Rashad White, Zay Jones, Jahan Dotson, Tutu Atwell, Romeo Dubs, Shaheed, who I just mentioned, Ertz, Hurst, Henry, and Laporta. Holy crap, there are a lot more players. So, yeah. So what's your question, Tamian, if you should get rid of somebody here? Depending on who's on waivers. I mean, Zay Jones, looking at waivers, what you're showing me right now, Tutu Atwell, Dubs, Shaheed, and Jones, Zay Jones all look good. Hayden Hurst could, but I think I need more time on that. Zach Ertz, I think, is going to have a nice day in his game with Arizona facing off against the Giants. So should you get rid of anybody, though? I mean, I would keep Cook. David Montgomery, he's playing Seattle. You know, I like Javonte. I like Jacoby if he's healthy and can go in this game. And I like Sutton. So, I mean, if you were going to get rid of anybody, I'm not sold on getting rid of Montgomery this early in the season. But if you were going to get rid of any one of the players that you gave me, I would say get rid of Monty for either Zay Jones, Dubs, or Atwell at this point. He said, I normally play 32-man leagues, so I'm not used to having players on waivers. Oh, yeah, I understand that. But, yeah, there's a lot of guys out there. I mean, I don't know if I would get rid of Monty just yet, but I'm intrigued by Zay Jones, Tutu Atwell, Romeo Dubs, and Shaheed. And Ertz. So there are a lot of guys out there. So Monty's the only one that I would maybe toy with thinking about if I had to pick. Cleveland, this week, they're playing Pitt. I have Deshaun as quarterback 2. I like Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford, I'd probably leave off unless you're going to put him out as a running back 4. Elijah Moore, I like him in this game as a low-end 2, high-end 3 wide receiver. Amari Cooper as a wide receiver, probably a low-end 2, high-end 3 as well. David Njoku in this game, I have him as a mid to low-range tight end 1, just because it's hard to find a good tight end out there. And I like David Njoku from the Miami Hurricanes, who I've covered for at least a decade. And so I think that he definitely has some value, and I think he's trending upward, which is good to see because I thought that he would have had more under his belt fantasy-wise up to this point. The Steelers are coming off an abysmal game at home against the Niners, 30-7. Kenny Pickett was 31 of 46, 232, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Najee had 6 carries for 31 yards, 5.2 yards a carry. Jaylen Warren, who I think could be a grab and stash guy, 3 carries, 6 yards, 2 yards a carry. Didn't have a good day. Allen Robinson II in his debut after being a Jaguar then a Bear. Allen Robinson led the team in targets. Every quarterback has their guy. 8 targets, 5 catches, were second best on the team, 64 yards. Calvin Austin caught all 6 thrown his way. He led the team in receptions with 6, 37 yards. I covered Calvin Austin III and interviewed him when he was a Memphis Tiger. Deontay Johnson going through an injury, 6 targets, 3 catches, 48 yards. So let's go over to the Steelers now. George Pickens here, too, and the hamstring injury for Deontay's got him doubtful. God willing, he'll get back very quickly here. George Pickens in this matchup. Let's take a look at Pickens. In his debut, I just picked up, or pardon me, not his debut, coming back after last season, I just picked up an RPA of him that's numbered to 25 from GG Cards and Breaks. Head out there today, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sunday from 10 to 5. Make sure you head out to GG Cards and Breaks. Round 2, pick 52 overall in 2022 out of Georgia. I like George Pickens. One of my teams is called Pickin' Flowers because I have Pickens and Zay Flowers. And his game, he had 7 targets, which was behind only Allen Robinson, 5 catches, which was only behind Calvin Austin III, and had 36 yards in the game. So, and Pat Freiermuth, chest injury is questionable, which makes me sad because Muth is one of those underrated guys. He only had 1 catch on 4 targets for 3 yards in this game, but he had the only touchdown that Kenny Pickett threw because, as I tell you over and over again, every quarterback has their guy. And Kenny Pickett and Pat Freiermuth, I think, are a great 1-2 connection that a lot of people underestimate. There wasn't a lot of good things to come out of Pitt in that first game, but Muth had the only touchdown. So in this matchup against Cleveland, I like Najee Harris. I like George Pickens. I like Allen Robinson III and Calvin Austin III, or Allen Robinson II, Calvin Austin III. I have Pickens and Allen Robinson as wide receiver 2s. I have Calvin Austin III as a wide receiver 3. I have Najee Harris as a running back 2 in this matchup. Going back to Tamian, he said, thank you. I subbed, but I'm a dip. I appreciate the help. Absolutely. So thanks for subscribing and definitely appreciate it. And it's okay that you're dipping now because we just finished off everything here. So if you have a question and we didn't answer it or you didn't get to us live, we answered all the questions that we got here live. If you have a question after the show's going live and you're watching, then subscribe to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Follow us at wakeupcalldt on Facebook or facebook.com/wakeupcalldt and make sure that you respond to the actual specific video, this video, so I can be sure to answer your questions before the games come up. So, because I'll get an alert if you respond to this actual video. And I want to thank y'all for watching and listening around the world. youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. Of course, thank you for finding us on Amazon Music, Audible, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Podvine, Podchaser, Player FM, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. You can also ask Alexa and your Google Home device to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and they will do that for you as well. So make sure you do that. And of course, a big time thanks to our incredible partners, Carvel DeWitt, where today and every Wednesday you can get my Sunday buy one, get one. The DT Dolphin is available BOGO on Wednesdays and available all throughout the week. Beyond that, the DT Dolphin, in connection with my partnership with the Lemoyne Dolphins and Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Make sure you get the DT Dolphin today for buy one, get one on Wednesdays and every day of the week. I got one with my dad and with Brendan. We went out there on Monday and we got to get, my dad and I got ourselves the DT Dolphin mint chocolate chip topped off with hot fudge, whipped cream, and a cherry, green and gold sprinkles to go with the green ice cream, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your sundae. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, 317 at Montgomery Street, with an all-new two-part series Downtown with Dan with their Burger of the Month, which just started yesterday, their Mexican-inspired flavored burger, which is fantastic. You can watch that two-part series here during lunchtime today. Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, GG Cards and Breaks, my premier sports card shop of choice, as well as Pizza Man, Great Lakes Honda City, Mother's Cupboard, where you can go any day of the week to 3709 James Street in Syracuse, New York, from 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and get my sandwich, the Cuse McMother, which is great for game days and all throughout the week. The Cuse McMother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Eat it like a sandwich or cut it up and eat it with syrup. The Cuse McMother, one of the best sellers, and it has been bought since the day we put it out there. Thank you so much, the Cuse McMother. Go and get yours today, and you can see the picture of it when you walk into Mother's Cupboard 7 days a week on 3709 James Street in Syracuse, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Avicoli's, and of course we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month with the Dolphins. Wednesdays are Dolphin time, like today, where you got to see my one-on-one exclusive with Casey Murphy, the assistant coach and former Dolphin student athlete of the men's soccer team in their first season as a D1 program. AD and DT coming to you every first and third Wednesday of each month at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and the Dolphin Dive coming to you to every second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, including today with our Dolphin Dive featuring Casey Murphy, who you can see this weekend as the Lemoyne Dolphins men's soccer team will have their first game as a D1 program at home. That first home game coming to you this Sunday in a doubleheader with the women's soccer team. Come out and see them for the Fall Fins Frenzy on Sunday, September 17th. A shout out to Mordu and Cinnamon, my first 2 dogs who are up in heaven, as that is their birthday. You can get all of our content with the Dolphins by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and clicking subscribe. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com, and as always, Fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bobcats every single month and throughout the year with student athletes, coaches, and administration joining the show. Most recently, the men's soccer team in multiple specials airing as they headed in to their 2023-24 season. The Bobcat Buzz coming to you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora exclusively. Find it all on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Make sure you click subscribe. And, of course, for more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. Go Bobcats. The Alfred University Saxons are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Saxons during Saxon time every Monday to start your week, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. First and third Monday, like this Monday, the Presidential Perspective with the president of Alfred University lending time to us. How many presidents of universities and colleges take the time to take the time? Well, Mark Zupan does every single month for Presidential Perspective on the first and third Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Speaking this week about the College of Business and their amazing student-to-teacher ratio, as well as job placement and grad school placement, the high percentage of everything they have there, as well as the majors and minors that they offer and the uniqueness of them as well. Saxon Spotlight coming to you during Saxon time every second and fourth Monday of each month at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni. Find all of our Saxon content by subscribing to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. For more information, go to gosaxons.com. And as always, go Saxons. With that being said, I want to thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast and every broadcast that you tune into. Inside of MonPazPopcorn.com is What's Popping, who are now back open after the New York State Fair on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Make sure you head out there for their fantastic homemade lemonade, kettle corn, popcorn, premium popcorn and kettle corn, all their awesome flavors, their cotton candy, their chocolate dipped Oreos, their chocolate dipped pretzels, and everything that they have seasonally. Obviously, they're going into Halloween here. Awesome stuff at Ma and Pa's, in my opinion. Central New York's capital for snacks. It is, to me, it's the snack capital of anywhere you go. Go to MaandPazPopcorn.com to have it shipped to you. And if you're lucky enough to be here, blessed enough to be here in our community, you can go to Ma and Pa's right now on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, right off the highway, the thruway, minutes from downtown, as well as from Destiny, USA. Ma and Pa's centrally located for your snack cravings today. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, Twitter at CallDT, X now, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon. Thank you to Casey Murphy, and thank you to the Wildcat. Make sure you support your Dolphins, your Bobcats, and your Saxons. Look forward to seeing you all throughout the week.